the unspoken secret to a lasting marriage. If you're getting married soon, there's something vital you need to understand, and it's not the typical advice about communication, finances, or intimacy. It's something smaller, quieter, easier to miss. But if what makes or breaks a marriage over time, you're going to want to listen to this. By Dad. So, what's the advice? Respond to emotional bids. This concept comes from world-renowned relationship researchers Drs. John and Julie Gottman. They've studied couples for decades, and what they found is this: the health of your marriage doesn't come down to grand romantic gestures. It comes down to how well you respond to the little things. What is an emotional bid? An emotional bid is any subtle attempt by your partner to connect. It can be verbal or nonverbal. It's your partner saying, "I want to feel seen. I want to feel heard. I want to feel close to you." But here's the tricky part. These bids are often tiny. They're not shouted. They're whispered. Examples. Your partner says, "I'm so tired after a long day." She walks into the room carrying a heavy bag and sighs. He says, "Man, I'm starving," while rummaging through the fridge. She glances out the window and says, "It's so hot today." These are not complaints. They're not demands. They're invitations for connection. How you respond determines everything. When a bid is made, you have 3 choices. Turn toward. You notice it. You engage. You respond with care. You're tired? Right arrow. Come sit down. I'll finish this. Let me help you with that bag. Right arrow. Right arrow. You're hungry, I'll warm something up. Turn away. You ignore it. You say nothing. You stay on your phone, your screen, your thoughts. Silence. Indifference. Emotional neglect. Right arrow. Turn against. You respond with irritation, sarcasm, or blame. Tired? What did? Right arrow. You do all day? Why didn't you eat earlier? You're always hot open. Right arrow. Right arrow. The window yourself. Why this matters more than you think. Every time your partner makes a bid, they're putting a small piece of emotional trust on the table. And every time you respond with care, you build emotional safety. But every time you ignore or attack those bids, you plant the seeds of disconnection and resentment. Over time, these small moments create the emotional climate of your marriage. Not in a week, not in a month, but over years, through daily patterns. Marriages don't collapse suddenly. They erode quietly when one or both partners stop responding to each other's bids for connection. A simple example. Let's say your husband walks in and says, "I'm so hungry," and you say, "Oh, I just made something, let me heat it up." That's a micro connection. You just turn toward him. Or your wife sighs as she puts down the groceries. You notice and say, "Here, let me grab those bags." Again, you've just strengthened the emotional bond. These moments may take 10 seconds, but they build trust, warmth, and partnership. The decline happens when bids are missed. When bids are constantly ignored or dismissed, a quiet emotional wall begins to form. You say you're tired and your partner snaps, "I'm the one who works all day." You say it's hot and they say, "So open a window," with a tone that's not playful. You show a need, and instead of support, you get sarcasm or silence. Over time, these rejections send a message: "I don't care, I'm not listening, I'm not on your team." That leads to disconnection. Disconnection leads to resentment. Resentment leads to emotional separation. And, eventually, the death of intimacy. If you're just getting married, this habit may feel unnatural at first. You're not used to decoding tiny emotional signals. You may be more focused on solving problems than noticing needs. But marriage isn't just about tasks. It's about tuning in. Make it your mission to notice the little things. Learn to hear the unsaid. And when your partner reaches out in a subtle way, reach back, even just a little. Final thought. Responding to emotional bids is not about being perfect. It's about being present. And when you train yourself to respond consistently, lovingly, attentively, you create a marriage that feels like a partnership, not a negotiation. So if you're about to get married, don't just promise to love, honor, and cherish. Promise to notice. Promise to respond. That's how love lasts.